Today's topic is Shabbos Mode, and the question is, why do I need a Shabbos Mode for my oven or my refrigerator? So, from the very beginning, when ovens and refrigerators became, regular appliances that everyone had in their homes, people started asking about whether they could use them on Shabbos. And a very original primary issue that came up was that when you open the door of the appliance, air comes in from the outside. Well, and that could potentially cause the oven's fire or the fridge's compressor to go on to get the temperature back to where it was supposed to be. The air in the room is not the temperature inside the oven or the fridge, and they have to sort of catch up. So this issue that you might, by opening the door, cause the fire or the compressor to go on is particularly serious for an oven, because when a fire going on is an Issa D'Oraisa on Shabbos, and turning on the refrigerator's compressor is likely only just an Issa D'Rabbanan. So an oven is a little more serious, and Rabbanim took different positions about this. Some said you can do whatever you want to, open it anytime you want to. Some said no, you can only open it up. You can only open the door when the fire is on or when the compressor is on. And some had in between, like compromises, so to speak, between the shittas. Plus, so that was one main issue. Another issue was that a lot of appliances work so that when you open the door, the light goes on. A light goes on inside so you can see what you're doing. And originally, when that started, people were told to unscrew the light bulb so it won't go on, or cover the door plunger, the thing that makes the little switch in the door, so you won't have a problem on Shabbos. Now, so Shabbos Mode, the original Shabbos Mode was a way to avoid these two issues I've been talking about. It disabled the light, and it changed how the appliance reacted to someone opening up the door. Now that was at the beginning, but with time, people who made these appliances started adding all kinds of new features, and then the need to have a Shabbos Mode got even more important. Like, for example, they had different kind, aside from a light inside the oven, inside the appliance, they made all kinds of lights and sounds to happen when the door opens up. Or there's an automatic shut-off after 12 or 24 hours, which cause problems for Yom Tov when you have a couple of days you want to stay on for. Or refrigerators that their defrost coil, which is a potential Issa D'Oraisa, would turn on, based on how often you open the door. And other things like this, that all of a sudden issues were getting more and more complicated to use an oven or a refrigerator on Shabbos. So the need for a Shabbos Mode became even more important. And basically, at this point, it's a standard feature that people who are Shomer Shabbos will look for when they buy a new appliance to make sure it has Shabbos Mode to help them avoid these kind of problems. Now, everybody agrees that having a Shabbos Mode is great, and it's really helpful, but there's been a little bit of controversy about some of the details about it. For example, there were those who suggested that the Shabbos Mode could create a delayed reaction. You could press buttons for things to happen, and since there was a delay between when you pushed the button or and you adjusted something versus when it actually happened, that might be considered to be allowed to do that on Yom Tov. And most Rabbanim did not accept that. Another idea is that we could ignore or downplay some of the issues that there were if you tell people to only open the oven once on Shabbos and take all the food at one time. The technical halachic details is beyond this little Q&A. And others did not agree with that idea. But for these kind of things, definitely you should speak to your own personal rabbi to find out what position you should take about this. Now, while Shabbos Mode is a great thing, and there are people outside Shomer Shabbos, hashgachas who oversee it and make sure it's done properly. There are some manufacturers who said, "Nah, I don't need someone outside to do this. I'll do it self-certified that my appliance has Shabbos Mode." Now, some of them did a fine job, but as you can imagine, not all of them did a perfect job on that. And some of them were sort of in the middle there, where you could use it if you put a magnet or some other controller on a certain spot and this and that to make it work. So that's something just to bear in mind, that not every Shabbos Mode is really certified and done well, and that some of them are just done by themselves. The last thing is that there are some Shabbos Modes, some versions of Shabbos Mode have like these features, like for example, it'll go into and out of Shabbos Mode automatically every week, so you don't have to remember to do it, or that it adjusts the temperatures during different times of the day on Yom Tov. The idea being there are times when you want to cook and times when you don't want to cook. So, there'll come this kind of a feature to that. Well, anyhow, all in all, having a Shabbos Mode is really a great thing for Shomer Shabbos consumers. It helps them use their ovens and refrigerators, I guess potentially other appliances also, for Shabbos and Yontif without having to worry about other concerns.